Matt, an away win and one that showed true resilience and grit from your team.
Yeah, it had everything in the end of it. I was obviously not happy with the control or lack of control we had in the first half. I thought what we didn't do and what we have to do when we play our back five, we have to slide and shift, and we didn't do that. We just ended up sitting in, which was the frustrating thing. Listen, the conditions were horrendous to play football in for the lads, and you could see that by at the tempo at times wasn't as, especially in the first half, wasn't as bob on. But I thought within that period, even in the first half, they showed a hell of a lot of character to not concede the second. If you concede the second, it's a totally different game, and sometimes we have to take that real. We have to really appreciate the fact that we dug in there. It wasn't going our way. Completely understand that, and it wasn't like us, if you like, and there are reasons for that. But I think credit to them for digging in, for making it resilient in that first half, and then second half, I thought we ran all over them. I thought the changes that we made brought energy. I thought that our group looked the fitter by far. I thought we looked like we were going to counter 3 or 4 more times and maybe get that second clear goal to make it 3-1. I just thought we were brilliant, second half especially, but I want to give credit in that first half because we could have gone under at a point, and it was difficult for us in the heat, conceding the first. Shape quite clearly wasn't working on the day, and we dug in and we protected only going down 1-0 at half time, and that was a big turning point for us in my opinion.
And you showcased as a head coach that there's clearly an adaptability to this group, and the 2 changes that you do make at half time, they make the desired impact in it. And I've got to say, I think Ross Tierney was fantastic in that number 10 pivot role.
The boy can run, and he's got he's a fantastic finisher, as he nearly did at the end there, and he's a wonderful kid. I don't know if I mentioned this in my post-match last week, and said, as I was coming off the pitch after we won last week, I said to Ross, apologies I couldn't get you on in the game. And he said, I couldn't care less, with a bit of fruity language. I couldn't care less because we won the game. And that's the group that I have. I had it said a few times from the subs that didn't play today. I don't care because we won the game as a group. And I'll need everybody. You jokes, I'm going to go through everyone now. But I thought for Harry to come on in that situation and do the horrible things that he had to do against a horrible centre forward, fantastically effective, but he's hard to play against, was unbelievable. So credit to him. I thought Remy changed the game in the way that he approached it. Ross did exactly the same, and every one of them earned a really hard 3 points there. They should be so proud of themselves, because I thought they were a proper team from 1 to 18.
You mentioned a team performance. Obviously the plaudits will go to Freddie, fantastic again. Oshin popping up with an assist and a goal. Yeah. Owen Evans, some fantastic saves right at the death. It just goes to show what this team is all about, doesn't it?
Yeah, Osh, for what Osh is, in terms of, you'd say he was a dirty, horrible midfield player, but he creates the first goal with a fantastic ball in on a sixpence for Fred, who, by the way, what a header that was, and then scores the second goal. So I think we went through the amount of goal contributions he's had so far this season, and we're getting close to double figures with him. So I've spoke to you before about him. I love him. I love what he resembles. I love what he signifies for our team. And I'm so pleased that he gets a little bit of the plaudits today, because sometimes some of that work goes unnoticed. Freddie, he's a player, isn't he? Freddie's a good player. Freddie continually, as a coach on the sidelines, makes me think, I've got to take you off, you look knackered, and then again from somewhere he gets this superpower to keep going and looking like he's fresh as a daisy again. Yeah, he was brilliant. Owen, you've just mentioned him. Yeah, I don't want to say too many good things about Owen, because he's that good that I want him here for a long time. He's a fantastic goalkeeper, getting better in my opinion. You've joked about me doing it, I'm going to do it. Priestley, I thought, was monumental at the back. I thought he was top draw, showing why we brought him in and showing why we missed him so much when he was unavailable. Tails had a tough time against probably the best winger in the division, and we spoke a hell of a lot about him before the game, and we wanted to we were fully aware of the threats that he would have and the threats that they have when they have Smith and him in the, they've got a good team there and they really cause problems. But Tails, I thought, stuck to his task and gave it his all. Joe Folks, I thought it was a tough first half for Joe. I really did, and then the second half I thought he was unbelievable. I thought he was fantastic and really showed what he's all about, his maturity. Sturkey does what Sturkey does, breaks things up and passes forward when he can, and then Isaac, always a threat for us and always gives you that chance of going away and breaking away and scoring a goal. And again, I just talk about the fitness of my boys. They look really fit, strong, and nothing was going to come in their way of winning that game today.
As a former defender, is Freddie the kind of person, the kind of striker that you would dread playing against? Because the movement, the hold-up play, the ability to then run in behind, to create the space in between the two centre-halves for the goal, he seems like an absolute nightmare and a handful to play against. He's
horrible. He's a defender's nightmare, and mostly because, like I was saying to you, he looks to me like I'm going to have to do something with Freddie, and just keeps going, and then he keeps going, and I think he would just be horrible to play against. The goal the one that he nearly scores, the second one, I mean, that's top centre forward play. That you could see from their defenders, they were desperate not to touch him. They didn't want to touch him. They were fearing anything. If they got close to him, they bodied him, he'd roll them. If he squared them up, he'd go past them. Defender's nightmare. He's a joy to work with, and the group are a joy to work with for me because they give absolutely everything. And he's right that then I go to the supporters because, listen, I'm saying now, I know the first half was frustrating for us. We had to change things, but as then I'll reiterate, the fact that we didn't give in during that period, which was tough, and I was desperate to get to half-time to make the changes, showed what they were all about, and it gave us the platform then to do what we did in the second half. And the fans were with us, and I've been desperate to give the supporters days like this. First away win for a long time, but first away win more importantly for me this season. First time back-to-back for a long time, but more importantly, first time back-to-back for me this season. And first time this season we've come from behind to win a game. So hell of a lot of positives. We can enjoy the weekend for sure.
On a final note, two guys not here today, Chris Hussey, Tom Knowles, an update on those, please.
Yeah, Chris, some personal things going on with Chris, so he's not here. Tom, unfortunately, had food poisoning on Thursday evening, which was obviously when you get the call about that, you're like, right, okay, got to readjust at this point now. So we had to readjust a lot of things. Obviously, Liam wasn't here today. The team changed a lot from Thursday night to Friday morning with a few bits and pieces that had happened. So again, credit to the group to adapt as they did, especially then when we changed at half time. So so there's the answers on them.